Today we've got the Bachmann Class 121 bubble car unit. This is a diesel multiple unit. It's a single rail car, single coach rail car, but they could be run in pairs. This is in the Network Southeast livery from the 80s and the early 90s. Okay, so a little bit of background on the Class 121 and the sisters of the Class 122. 16 of these single car units were ordered from the Press Steel Company at Linwood in Scotland, together with 10 unpowered driving trailer vehicles. So obviously they didn't have the engine, so they just had to be towed around, but you could run them as a pair to obviously boost capacity. These were later classified as Class 121s and were derivative of the 3-car units already delivered to the Western region by the same manufacturer, the Class 117. Now Bachmann have done a model of this in the same 3 liveries as the bubble car, the BR Green, the BR Blue, and obviously the Network Southeast that we've got here. The Bachmann model is 3 cars. In the Class 117, so you could easily stick one of these on the back to make a 4-coach train that is 100% realistic and prototypical. These units survived a hell of a long time, up until into the 2000s, and I believe the last one was withdrawn in 2017. And obviously these entered service in the early 60s, so as you can imagine, yeah, they were really tired, they were really old, but enthusiasts love them and they love the models of them. So let's carry on and let's see the model. Okay, so let's go through the lighting functions, because it's actually quite fun playing about with all the different options. So you've got your usual lights on, lights off for your headlights, and if you reverse the direction you've got the red tail lights within the same light clusters. Now a fun feature on this is if you press F3 the lights go off, but on the other end they stay on. So at this end you can still control your headlights or your tail lights, and you can have a completely dead end this end. This is more prototypical on locomotives rather than rail cars, but it's nice that they've put it. The only thing is I wish they'd have put it on the other cab, because you've got the exhaust this end. It's nice to look at this end. But then we've got the full saloon lighting, and obviously as you can see we've got the motor in here, which is the luggage compartment, and the light does bleed through into the cabs, but it looks quite realistic because obviously you'd have the lights coming through because you had the windows so the passengers could look out on the early first generation rail cars. It's a very it's not like a bright white, which is quite realistic. It's quite orangey and dull. Some people may prefer to tone it down, which you can in the CV settings, and then if you go on to F5 you get your cab lights. If I flick that on and off again, you can see that is definitely bright. The cab lights would never have been that bright in real life. Now F6 and F7 are fun. There's F6, you can't see it, and if I press F7 you can. That is the, if we try and zoom in here, don't know if this is gonna, if I turn off the cab lights you might see it a bit better. Then if I press F7 off, on, it's the little destination blind, and F6 is the one for the other end. So obviously if you're running in tail mode, this is, let's say this is a tail cab, change the direction, we can actually turn the blind off, or we could have it on for the direction of travel, which is a really nice feature. Now the lights are actually on the destination blind are quite bright, and they are really easy to read the destination blind, as we've got Paynton on that end and Greenford on the other. So I think I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and give you a quick up close, hopefully, and let you guys see what you think. Okay, so we're up close with the Class 121 bubble car. If we do the F7 again, you can see the destination blind. F5 is the cab light. Let's turn off the saloon lights, and then you can see that is just the cab. Let's do the directional lights. I love them, I do. And they're not separate. Obviously, on the real one, you'd have two bulbs in there, the white and then the red. So obviously, you had them in the same hole. But the locomotive and the lights are absolutely beautiful. On the earlier ones, obviously you had your head code boxes. If you buy the earlier one by Bachmann, they work correctly as well. Obviously Network Southeast, and well, before Network Southeast plated them over. And just looking down the side of the Loco, it's absolutely beautiful. The underframe detail, the bogie detail, and the livery is absolutely spot on. Even the guard on the door, and halfway down there's some writing on the side. I can't actually read it with my own eyes, so I doubt that I'm going to pick it up on camera. Let's try, let's see. So obviously you've got the battery boxes there, and you've got the writing there. I think that's the coolant top up. I'm struggling to read it myself, but as you can see on the side as well, we've got the little no smoking stickers in the windows, and if we lift the camera up and look inside, obviously you can see all the engine detail. You can see the decoder inside the luggage compartment. Obviously this window's got the mesh, but you can see the seats, they're painted just standard blue. But yeah, from far away it looks absolutely brilliant. I'm surprised these Locos are actually being discounted by the retailers, because I thought these would have all been sold out, because that's why I was really slow. And then I found one, this was from the Model Centre in Whitby, got it at a really good price, so I couldn't say no, especially after I'd dawdled in getting one. Absolutely lovely model. Just looking at the unit from the other end, we don't have the exhaust this end. You can see Greenford on the blind and the tail lights, and if I come round, hopefully the light, you can actually see the white handrails in front of the, well, on the side of the middle window and underneath the furthest outside windows. They are absolutely brilliant, shall we say. I'm a fan of that, the detail, they stick out. They may be slightly large over scale, but it helps you see them. This is an absolute cracking model.